what I like to do is use tinctures. Say somebody had, let's use an example, let's say you had a fungal infection. Say somebody had some kind of like a ringworm. You could spray the DMSO on that, and DMSO will start to kill that fungus pretty quickly. But say that you tinctured some Pau d'Arco, or you went to the health food store, you bought a tincture of Pau d'Arco, which is antifungal, and you added that onto the DMSO, that would be carried right into that fungus and immediately begin to kill it. Alcohol is a solvent. Water is a solvent, and DMSO is a solvent. What that means is it dissolves substances into itself. Most people throughout their body somewhere have things that need to be dissolved, like scar tissue and calcium. Both build up in the body. Over time, based on a person's movement patterns, facial expressions, the way that they walk, we get actually frozen into certain patterns, physiological, emotional patterns of the body-mind. If you've been injured, say that I never heal this finger injury, and so I'm always kind of guarding that finger injury, and eventually it starts to change the way I use my hand. If I eventually wake up to that and I want to fix that and change that, I need to get in there and break up the scar tissue, heal the nerves, and get the bones working properly again. What you can do strategically is use DMSO to dissolve what was ever in there so that you can reteach yourself how to move. If you've got a lot of arthritic scarring and calcium buildup, you can use DMSO to dissolve that. Now, alcohol would kind of do that too because it's a solvent, but alcohol's toxic to the body and will damage your liver and your brain. Water is a solvent and does it, but not nearly as powerful as alcohol. DMSO is a far more powerful solvent than both of those, and it's almost completely non-toxic. So that's the amazing technology of it.
What other things could you spray the DMSO on if you had, like, say, a cut? Or if you had, like, if you just had some muscle soreness?
It's great for muscle soreness. Now you could take, if we took this DMSO, when I get out of the shower, a lot of times I'll do this. I'll spray it like a mist, a fine mist, and actually spray my whole body down with it. That works really well, but you got to make sure your concentration is 75% or lower so that it doesn't burn you. The kind of burn that would give you is like a red, itchy...
You mean 25% or lower, correct, of DMSO?
75%. Oh, I gave you that wrong concentration earlier when I said I filled it. This is filled 75% DMSO, 25% water. As long as it's 75% or lower, it really shouldn't give you too much of a burn. If it does give you any kind of itchy or reddening kind of an effect, just water it down a little bit more. It's not an exact science. On your face is a bit more sensitive, and maybe you want to be somewhere around 50%.
What about DMSO gel?
DMSO gel is great. Now the thing is, for me, I personally like to start from scratch so that I know every ingredient I'm working with. A lot of times the gels and the different kind of lotions are in plastic bottles, and I don't think that's real safe with DMSO. Also, I just like to know what's in it, who's handled it, and what kind of equipment it's been through. So that's why I do it myself. But the gels are great, and I'm sure most of the companies who are making it are aware of what they're working with.
One last question. What if you put the DMSO on and there are certain aromas in your environment? For instance, you walk through someplace that has a lot of chemicals. Could you also be in danger of absorbing those chemicals?
Yeah, I would be really conscious. Anything you smell means there's molecules of it in the air, and that's why you smell it. So if you're smelling perfume, that means it's actually touching your skin. It's getting on your body. I personally think the best thing to do with DMSO is use it, allow it to dry where you're comfortable, in an environment where you're comfortable. Be thinking about this. You know, if you're going to spray it on your feet, for instance, say somebody had an athlete's foot. That's a fungal infection of tinea pedis, I think that's called. If you had that on your foot, you want to spray it down. Don't go walking around your carpets where there could be a lot of dirt and bacteria and kind of molds and yeast and things like that. Set your feet up, spray them down, let it dry. It'll take about 2 minutes at the most, maybe less. Let it dry, then put on clean socks. You're ready to go. If you want to spray yourself down with it, let it dry before you go anywhere where you might come in contact with anything, where you might, don't put your clothes on until it's completely dried.
That's great. Thank you so much, Daniel.
You're welcome.